this channel. Now, today's video, I am giving you on the fabrics, traditional fabrics, that is Ikkath fabrics. You know Ikkath, the word Ikkath already know. This is a common and spoke by not recently or latest. It is since thousand years back. This technique Ikkath fabrics are, the word Ikkath fabrics are used, and regarding that used and spoken and practiced those fabrics. It is a traditional fabrics. Though it's a traditional and old fabrics, it is nowadays in fashion technology, in fashion design, it became a popular one. The use of Ikkath fabric, use of Ikkath techniques in the fashion design is more speedily is going nowadays. Now technology is developing compared to olden days. Compared to olden days means 1000 years back also it was there. Now 100 years back also it was there. Now also it is there. Now compared to olden days, now innovation takes place day by day. What is Ikkath? You know the tie and dye. You know the normal fabrics woven. There are two types of fabrics, friends. One is dyed fabrics, another is yarn dyed fabrics. Yeah, dyed means solid dyed, complete dyeing. The fabric is woven, the grey fabric is woven, and the fabric itself dyed with the required shade, required colors, and finished. But yarn dyed, in case of yarn dyed fabrics, before the fabric is woven, the yarn warp and weft are dyed with the required colors to create a pattern in the weaving looms. That is yarn dyed. Now the tie and dye technology, tie and dye technology. Then the fabric is tied here, randomly tied with the stone, with the threads, with the rings, whatever the rough and tough used, and the fabric is dyed in the dyed tubs. And after the dyed, the fabric is finished and taken out. After finishing and dried, the threads are opened. Then the fabric, the color spread, distributed not evenly. It's create its own natural patterns in case of tie and dyed fabrics. Like that, the same technique followed in the yarn dyed also. In the yarn dyed fabrics, usually the normal yarn dyed fabrics are usually create the full complete cone. The complete cones of a same color is dyed in the dyeing machines. Okay, one color is dyeing machine. How many colors are, say, checks, say to produce a checks yarn dyed or a stripe yarn dyed, whatever is there, that is, or even in case of jacquard designs, whatever the yarn dyes are, the complete cones, yarn cones are dyed. But in case of Ikkath, like tie and dye fabrics are tied with the thread or any tying some equipments, like that here also the yarns are some bundle of yarns are the specific place of the yarns are bundled together and tied and make it resist to the dye liquid. Okay, dye, it makes resist to the dye. This is a resisting technique. The part which is tied, which is bundled, okay, which is complete bundled, to avoid penetration of the color into that part, okay, that part is taken, color will not enter because it is completely dyed. Particular part, specific part or specific length of the yarn is dyed. Like that, suppose in case of one Ikkath fabric, normal Ikkath fabric, some pattern is required. Say repeat is required. In a repeat, how many yarns are there? How many background yarn? One is background color is required. One is Ikkath design color is required. That Ikkath color required yarns, those are tied and dyed in the. That is manually. Mostly it is done in the mostly done in manually. It is a labor work. Because of it's a labor work, because of it is a tedious job, the expense, the cost of Ikkath fabrics are more. Cost of Ikkath fabrics are more compared to other plain yarn dyed fabrics or solid dyed fabrics. Okay, now, so this is resisting techniques only. The cost, because of it is involved, labors are involved, because of the techniques it required human manual requirement is there, and a special concentration required, special skill is required. The cost of this fabric is, and the Ikkath fabrics are produced warp Ikkath. There are three types: warp Ikkath and weft Ikkath, and both warp double Ikkath. In case of warp Ikkath, the warp threads are specific. The some pattern to produce some pattern. The yarns which are required to produce the design. Those warp yarns only dyed. The warp yarns play an important role in producing Ikkath fabrics. In case of weft knit, the weft knit fabrics are playing an important role. That is, weft-wise yarns, dyed yarns are creating a Ikkath design. But in case of double knit, both warp and weft are together. Patterns or skill is used to create the design. Hope this is enough as a basic techniques, and also I will give some in the background. I hope in the background you are seeing some pictures and images. And usually it is Ikkath is used in handloom, and now also in powerloom is started using, and the technology is used, and also the finish of the fabric, look of the Ikkath fabric depend upon the fineness of the yarn. The finer the yarn, the blurriness is reducing. It is here in case of Ikkath fabric, because of the coarse. If the yarn is coarse, then blurriness is more. If the yarn is finer, the blurriness will be reduced. It is so totally, it's a skill is quite tedious job, and technically it's a challenge. It is there. So the cost of fabric is more compared to the other fabrics. Okay, the end use already knows now. Before it was used for the upholstery householdings. Now it is used for clothing also, and also saris. Almost since many years, so it is Ikkath pattern is used for ladies sari, women saris, and kurtas, and tunics and dresses. Many, even for nowadays shirts also, no men's shirts also it is started using. Okay, the techniques are there, and other accessories like scarves, shawls, handkerchief, many, because it depends upon the fashion designers they can use. Now I will come to, and also so many things are there, friends. I can discuss on this. The main important of this card.
Please subscribe to this channel, like it, share it, and click the icon bell. Thank you.